Hi, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes and so happy to see his smiling face today. Welcome back, Huggy
Smiling
Lowdown.
faces. What's up, Sybil? Welcome back, y'all.
No, welcome back to you. Where you been?
I've been right here.
Not taking our calls or anything?
I ain't taking nobody calls, Sybil.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then I
No, I'm
won't.
playing. Stop saying.
You've been on the road, huh?
Yeah, I've been on the road. Been
Where'd
doing a
you
little
go?
traveling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah, I've
right,
been doing
traveling man.
traveling, man. What's happening,
Hmm.
y'all? Miss you guys.
Missed you
We
too.
missed
Glad to
you.
have you back.
Really,
Welcome.
really.
Hello, Coy. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good.
Good. What's going on?
Let's see what is going on in this wonderful world of adults and learning how to navigate several jobs at once, which can be not only just, of course, the obvious time consuming, but it can be very, very tiring. So learning how to balance that and not overwork myself lately is the latest goal, and making sure I take time to rest, which I often do not. When I do, it's like in short spurts, trying to make myself have an actual rest day or a day where I get mostly rest. And that is something very, very foreign to me.
I,
Very
I,
foreign.
I know I've been gone, but seems like I've seen this episode, Corey.
Came back right where you left
Came,
off.
came back
I,
right
I,
back where I left
I
off.
thought maybe it was just me, but you're absolutely right. Some things never change as Coy is going through this process. So you are learning and you are adjusting and adapting. Is that correct? Is that what we
Yes.
can draw from this?
Yeah, I'm trying very, very hard, and just I don't know, taking things as they come. To be honest, this is a very tough process for me because, like I said, I've been a hard worker. Shoot, as long as I could get up and do things on my own, I've been an overachiever. So this is something that is going to
So
take some
what
time
is
for me to
different
undo.
about this as an overachiever and as a hard worker? What is different about this time?
This time, I'm saying to myself and accepting that, hey, listen, you can work one job. It's so hard for me to say. I can't even say it straight. You can work one job or scale down the number of jobs that you have and be okay. And I think I do this because there were times growing up where I wasn't okay. And I always said to myself, as long as I'm in charge of me, whenever I become an adult, I'm not going to allow myself to face these kinds of circumstances. So I think that kind of drives me to overachieve as an adult. As a kid, it was just knowing that I wanted to get to this place in life, and here I am. Now it's like, all right, you can be successful and everything can be taken care of, but you also want to be able to enjoy some of these things that you work for. So you need to take time to rest and actually do it this time,
Because
because I
you were
won't do
doing
it.
it before.
No, not really.
Michelle Lynn Summerall on Facebook says it's not going backwards, Coy. You got this. So very nice.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you,
Thank
Michelle.
you.
basically, you can overachieve. You can overachieve because it's in your DNA. But you
Mm-hmm.
got to feng shui so you can enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Right.
And that means putting yourself in a position
Right.
in
Putting yourself
order.
in a position where you can enjoy the fruits of your labor. Because there ain't
Yeah.
no sense of you working, busting your ass. Can I say that, Sybil?
Yeah, you can.
And,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you can't enjoy
Yeah.
the fruits of your labor, whether that
Yeah.
be some R&R, some vacation time, some. You can go to Casper, Wyoming.
Hey, don't knock the Casper, Wyoming as a vacation trip when there is a major solar event happening. So
That's right.
absolutely.
Might be
Absolutely.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, welcome back to you, Huggy, and keep up the work there, Coy. And let's move to our topical. What's going on in the world? First of all, the question. Speaking of weather, can you feel it? Anybody? Huh? Huh?
Can
Can
you
you?
feel it?
Can you?
Nothing can save you. What?
Today is the last day of meteorological winter
And Black History Month, Sybil?
and the end of Black History
Mm.
Month.
What,
Yes.
what is the coinky dink?
Right.
So explain that to the people who don't know,
So
like myself. So
meteorological seasons are usually the full seasons of December, January, and February for meteorological winter. Today is the
okay.
last day of February, so it's the end of meteorological winter.
And you see
Spring.
why she was in Casper, Wyoming on her birthday. She loves that stuff.
I
Go ahead,
love that
Sybil.
stuff. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. So, as you look ahead, tomorrow being the 1st of March, April, May will be meteorological spring. Even though spring does not officially come until well over the middle of March, we're looking at spring and spring like weather in a number of places. As a matter of fact,
Mm.
just looking at the weather report in Dallas Fort Worth the other day, and they were talking about not only getting to the 70s, it was in the 60s today, but perhaps some
Ooh,
80s. I don't need them to rush that much.
are
I
you
don't.
serious?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Expediting.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So happy last day of winter and look ahead to the spring. I think we can
And the
all
last
use that.
Fake
and
spring.
the last day of Black History Month, supposedly.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Sybil, can I ask you a question, Randall? Have you seen Ben Carson this whole month? I'm just saying. It's
I
the
miss
last day.
Uncle Ben.
He's been a no show the whole Black History Month. I was telling somebody we seen Puxatony Phil and his shadow more than Ben Carson this whole month. All right, Sybil, go ahead. I just wanted to
But
throw that
Cog,
out.
hasn't he been like a missing person for most of the last administration too?
Yeah. Well,
Hmm.
he was the black prop. You know,
Yeah,
he would
exactly. Exactly.
Trump
Let's
would
bring out the
come.
black guy.
We Greg go see
Uncle.
MLK Memorial. Come on out, you know.
Right, right.
And then he had him
Um
down in Overtown. Remember, he was in
and he was
Overtown and got caught on the got stuck on the
elevator.
elevator.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
yeah,
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 he was in a
yeah.
sunken place again. Go ahead.
He wa- he was he was going to do something with housing, and it's
With
like I think
Alonzo
that's what
Mourning. And by the
I
time
think
Zoe got there, he was
it was.
boom, 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 boom,
Don't
boom, 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 boom,
not gonna get me out of here.
boom. Right,
'Cause that is your job, Ben, to make sure
right,
that these elevators run
right,
correctly too
right.
and
Oof.
properly. This is also, as we mentioned, Black History Month, and during this February of Black History Month, the American Heart Association has encouraged Black women to reclaim our rhythm, and take control of our mental and physical health. And so, the American Heart Association is helping to empower us to use music to get our hearts pumping or to rest and relax. So take note there, Coy Malone. And so my
What kind
playlist,
of music is very,
well,
very?
it's your playlist. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So for this round, we've been going against various people. It's sort of like the college basketball brackets. And so we have been going up against various people. And it's not a competition. It's just like, who's do you like better? That kind of thing. But I have now moved on to the next round, and my playlist is going head to head with journalist Tremaine Lee's picks. So if you will go online and go to American_Heart Stories on Instagram. So you go to Instagram, go to at American_Heart Stories, and you can see Tremaine Lee's playlist. You can see my playlist, and I hope that you will vote for me. And you have
So,
until
so
10
it's like
o'clock.
a versus.
It's kind of like a versus of playlist.
Okay. So there
Yeah,
you have it.
not showing any musical talent, but our musical likes.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
So
I
if
see
you'll
that.
go to that and you'll see my picks, and I hope you'll give me your vote. And
Twerking for the heart.
that's
Twerking.
that
Twerking.
that would be coy.
Right.
I would not be doing that. I would
Oh,
not be doing that. Coy likes to get booties to the polls. I just like to say, please go vote, please.
there's
Um,
nothing wrong with
Both
that,
are
Coy.
successful.
Yeah, well,
Right.
hopefully,
Right.
hopefully,
Right.
we will see. So please go to that. You have until 10
Clap
o'clock.
for that, ladies. Clap for that.
Yeah, you have until 10 a.m. Tuesday. It's 10 a.m. Central Time Tuesday. So it's a very limited window, please. So please do that. Go to your Instagram. You'll go to Instagram at American_Heart. You'll see the heart logo in the corner. You hit on that, and then that'll take you to the stories. And you can, when you see both our playlists together side by side, please vote for me. Are you all watching and paying attention to what's going on in Ukraine?
Not as much as I'm supposed to. So
Yes.
Coy, you did it like, oh, I knew there was something I forgot.
No, it just makes me sad.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I got really upset about it, to be honest. I got really upset about it this morning to the point where I was like, I was crying because it's just sad to see yet another war and people are dying.
Yeah.
There are kids, children. I
Babies.
try not to get upset. There are
Yeah.
children that are dying. There are people that are dying on both sides. No matter who you're fighting for, this is the thing that people lose sight in when they decide we're going to go to war, that people are going to die on top of all of the other things that are going on with gas prices going up and different sanctions happening and different economies are being affected. There's already so much going on. There's already so many other wars going on in other countries and other things, atrocities that are happening all over the world. And now you pick a time like this to go to war. And not only is it a time like this, we're seeing people that are posting these on social media because they're right there. We have phones right here. We can record what's going on. We're seeing people being separated from their husbands and from their fathers, and men that have to stay behind, and the mayor and the president that are standing behind the fight. It's sad.
It
Yeah.
is, but let me give you a different perspective on this, and I'm not, and not to get away from the very important life and death situation going on in Ukraine and Russia. But there is a black journalist, and I don't know if you all have checked him out. His name is Terrell Jermaine Starr, and he is in Ukraine, and he has been reporting from there and giving a different perspective. He's breaking down all of this, the aspect of the Russian invasion. He is embedded with a group of volunteers in Kyiv, that is the capital city, answering the call with people who have answered the call to take up arms and battle the Russian superpower. And he has said that these are not trained soldiers, these are ordinary folks, just like you and me.
Just citizens.
These are just Ukrainian citizens, whether
Can't
they are,
explain.
yep, whether they are doctors, whether they are shoemakers, as they
Everybody.
said, lawyers.
Professional boxers,
Yeah, yeah.
models,
Da-
everybody.
dancers from Dancing with the Stars,
Mm.
the Shimorovsky brothers. Maxime
So, but if you
Shmurnikov,
can't pronounce it, we don't have a chance.
from Dancing with the Stars. He's been on social media telling his situation, as well as you said, boxers and the Klitschko brothers.
Right. Klitschko brothers.
And
And there's
so,
people in war that don't want to be in war.
yeah,
Right.
for
That
sure,
don't want
and
to be in the war.
they are just doing their part to save their country.
Right.
The
I'm
the
talking about on
Russians
both sides too, though, Sybil.
Now, the Russians, for the most part, are soldiers, right,
Right.
Hug?
Right.
But you're looking at the Ukrainians who, they just left their 9 to 5 or whatever their hours
Right.
are. They came home and
To
Russia's on
war.
their doorstep,
Right.
and they're
And
learning how.
protecting
So
theirs.
so check this out. Check this out. There's a brewery in Ukraine is fighting against the Russian troops, and they're switching out their craft
Oh,
beer. They're
for the
making craft
Molotov
beer, and they're
cocktails.
making Molotov cocktails.
Cocktails. Right.
Wow.
I saw that.
It's
I saw it.
crazy.
Yeah.
Employees at the Pravda brewery located in Lviv chose to create the bombs after word spread, and they are rolling into their city near the Polish border, and they have about 720,000 residents there. They began producing the Molotov cocktails for the Ukrainian Territorial Defense Forces, a team made up of reservists who responded to the President Zelensky's call to defend the country. And so they go through the process of how you have to wait for the cloth to be soaked, and then it means the Molotov cocktail is ready. And as they're demonstrating the process, it's incredible what people are doing in order to keep this democracy alive in the country of Ukraine. Now, one of the other aspects of it is there are Africans there who are trying to get out, and they are not able to. And so they are saying that it's racism, as these African students trying to get out of Ukraine and seek refuge in the neighboring countries like Poland. And they say that Africans are being discriminated against.
Right.
A
They're
lot of
They're
videos.
putting on I've seen a whole lot of videos
Yeah,
put on the back burner. They won't even allow them to get on the trains to get
yeah.
out. You
They are
know.
not being allowed to board the trains or other modes of transportation, Huggy, as you say, to Ukraine, and they say it's because of the color of their
Oh
Of
my
skin.
course it is.
God,
Of
man.
course it is. So I don't know. It's hard to that you have compassion. Of course you have compassion as a human being, but
Yeah,
and then you hear stories like that, you like, and I know that's not everybody,
of
but
course.
but that's
It's like you
that's
got
just
another war
horrific.
inside the war.
That's just horrific. Even during the war,
Right.
and
Even
we're in
during
a
a war.
war, and we're in a war now. This like a war during social media.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
imagine that.
Yeah, and
You have
that has been going on, but now
right,
it is exposed in other countries the
right,
way that we know it in this country.
right,
These African students, or many of them students, saying they just want to get out, and they keep getting pushed back further and further back
right,
in the at the end of the line.
I don't like this.
Well, no, war is not
Mm-mm.
the answer,
right.
and but the sanctions continue and they continue to escalate. The question is, when will Vladimir Putin and the Russian government and all of the rich Russians say, "Okay, enough is enough," because they are doing everything they can to cut them off, to cut off billions and billions
Yeah,
and billions
yeah.
of
When
dollars.
you mess with a person's finances, that's when they
That's
start
when it
paying
starts getting
attention.
real.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
When you're messing with the rubles, that's when
That's right. And
yeah,
then that's when you say "niet,"
right,
and you move on to the
right.
next. Tomorrow is voting day in the state of Texas. Want to remind folks that are registered, if you have not early voted, that concluded on Friday. Tomorrow is the last day to vote in the primary election. If you're registered to vote, but not one of the thousands and thousands that took advantage of early voting, then this is your last chance to cast your ballot in the primary election. And if you have any questions, please go to, I believe it's votetexas.gov is the uh, internet stop there, and then we will find out who makes it in this next round in the primaries. And we have the Democratic and Republican primary. I was out on Friday handing out some for a friend who was running for office, and it was so cold. Oh my
Hmm.
god, it was so cold. It was like in the 30s, and even though I
You
had
complaining about the weather?
Oh, I know, but but I felt though as though I had to, because I believe in the voting process, and I believe in my friend who is running for office, and so
Absolutely.
I wanted to.
And you didn't flee to Cancun. Good for you, Sybil.
This is for my family.
Right, right,
I'm,
right.
I'm,
Oh, okay,
I'm,
so
I'm
I'm not
chaperoning
suffering.
my daughter.
I'm
And left,
not
and
suffering the
left
way
the
the
damn dog
Ukrainians
at home
are.
with the Secret Service. That damn Ted.
That's funny. That was
Left the
very
cold
Somebody will
funny.
dog. He
be
was
there
a
to
hot
watch the
dog
house.
turned into a cold dog. So,
Okay, okay. And unfortunately, Ted is not running for election this time because I sure would like a piece of that. All right. You guys are sports fans, and Coy, you are a Los Angeles Laker fan. Huggy, I'm not sure if you're a LeBron fan, but
yeah,
LeBron
I'm a
clamped
LeBron
that.
fan all day. I saw LeBron cursing somebody out. These
His
fans are
one of
these
the
fans are,
fans.
these fans are getting out of hand, Sybil.
Well, I don't know if they're getting out of hand or if or if the Lakers just suck right now.
But that don't give you a right to
But
yell out that type of stuff.
isn't that what fans? I don't know about in DC, Huggy. I don't know about in Baltimore.
Fans are fans. What are you saying? Like we don't have a professional
No, no, no,
football
no,
team?
no. I'm saying
Oh, okay.
In Chicago, whether it was the Bulls, the Bears, the Cubs, God knows the Cubs. People would say anything to the Cubs,
Right.
and the White Sox, the Blackhawks. You name it. People will tell you what they think,
Yeah, I know
and
people
your
talk.
mama.
They talk, but I think players need to start having their boys sprinkled out in some of them seats right there, just in case. You don't have to do all that.
So Bron and the Lakers were
All Bron
getting
did is had to
whipped.
give him a little head signal or something, scratch the back of his head.
And then that would be the end of it,
Yeah.
right? So they were getting whooped pretty good by the Pelicans, and they were disgusted. The fans were disgusted, and so he took exception to one fan who apparently had some advice for King James,
Uh-huh.
prompting him to clap back as the game was going on. Tell me one thing you know about basketball besides the ball going in, he said to the guy. The crowd loved it. They don't show how this particular fan reacted, but he went on with his rest of his night. And unfortunately, they still lost to the Pelicans. But, it's a frustrating time when you got a good team. You're used to being at the top of your game, and you are, you're having a very unsuccessful season. Right now, they're at 27-33.
Damn. Can
Yeah.
I say that, Sybil?
Yes, you
Damn.
can. Yeah,
Okay.
you can. With just 22 games remaining, so they are looking for things to turn around, and perhaps for fans to be. I
And they
guess they
said,
want to be a little bit more supportive.
LeBron is on the older side as
Mm-hmm.
far as basketball. They was like, y'all can't look at LeBron to be the savior. I mean, he's been holding it on his back. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know.
Absolutely right. All right, lady and gentlemen, what's really going on? Our question of the day. A recent national day was Retro Day, going back. So, what's the
We
one
know what
thing?
retro means, Sybil.
What's the one thing from your past to which you would like to return? Like, remember back in the 70s, you may or may not remember this at your tender ages, but there was the rise of the 50s themed TV shows and movies and what have you, Grease and Happy Days and things like that. So, those were popular things for some people more so than us. Because if we say we want to go back to the 50s, and people looking at you like, what, are you crazy? But is there something from your past, a moment? Is there a type of clothing? Is there some music? Are there people you would like to revisit from your past on Retro Day? Coy?
I would like to see. I was just thinking about when on Friday nights there used to be a show or a string of shows that they used to call TGIF. They used to come on ABC,
Like
and that's
Family
where,
Matters and
yeah,
yeah.
that era of TV was so great. And then like you had the Saturday morning cartoons. You don't have that anymore. You
So
don't.
your television programs are one thing that you would like to revisit.
Yeah, and just like that time, of course, my dad would be there, my grandmother would be there. Um, a lot of the
Okay, so hold on to
90s
that.
fashion.
Okay, so hold on to that. Okay, so I get that as far as television is concerned. Although I think that right now they're trying to revisit that with some of the, because like, I don't know, Thursday nights I enjoy the CBS lineup of comedies. But I get that Friday night, because when I was growing up, it was the Brady Bunch, it was the Partridge Family, it was Love American Style, and those old shows, right? Old for you. Those were first runs for me. But those are, so I get that those Friday night, and remember Huggy during the Thursday night lineups, including the Cosby Show on
Mhm.
NBC.
I do remember that. I remember. I want to take it back to the days of the iPod. I love my iPod. So,
Oh,
the iPod was such a
I like
reflection of
mine
who
too.
I still have like 2 or 3 iPods. Like I will not. And the games me and my sister used to play. You know how used to sit on the front porch and play "That's My Car." Yeah. Me and my sister used to play "That's My Dad" because our dad was in our life. So that's my dad. Oh no,
yeah.
Lord.
And were you like some that just sat on the porch just waiting,
Yeah,
just to
yeah,
waiting, just to
yeah.
wait?
Oh,
Uh, Coy, what about games for you? Are there any games that you would like to bring back or you'd like to revisit on Retro Day?
I remember this one toy that was called a
Don't say it.
pogo.
Oh,
It was called a pogo ball, and it's supposed to be a cross between a pogo stick and like a bouncy ball.
Hmm.
And it looked like almost like the planet Saturn because it had like this plastic ring
Ring
around the
around it.
ball, and you're
Uh-huh.
supposed to be able to jump. That thing was terrible, but it was so much fun.
So
It
was
was
it
so
a,
easy
was
to
it I
fall.
remember something like that, but it was more of a balancing thing.
Mm-hmm.
Was that it?
Yeah.
A pogo ball?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
I
Okay.
remember Richard Pryor records.
Oh, Huggy.
Yeah, I used to listen to Richard Pryor records at a young
So, do
age.
you remember your first time listening to Richard Pryor, Hug?
Yes. I do. I
And what
think
was
I don't even remember Sybil, but I used to listen to Richard Pryor records. My sister could tell you, like, and maybe that made me want to get into the business.
and
I
Huggy?
used to love Richard Pryor so much, Sybil. Like when Eddie Murphy came out, I was not the biggest Eddie Murphy fan at first.
Wow, lean over a little bit.
Okay.
The other way.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. This one.
Oh,
That's how much he loves Richard
Yeah,
Pryor.
right. I got a couple of Richard Pryors around the crib. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember ever reciting a Richard Pryor joke or a story?
Uh, you talking about on stage or to someone?
Just well, I mean, it could have
I
been
don't. I'm
to
not
your
a
friends.
satirist. I don't say. I'm not a fan of the satyrism.
No.
Probably, yeah,
Did you
yeah.
do it in school?
Um, I don't
without
even
getting in
remember.
trouble.
I don't even
On the
remember.
playground, maybe?
I don't even remember. I have a
Yeah.
friend. I have a friend of mine. He says he remember me being funny in the second grade.
Wow.
Yeah, I was
Wow.
like, yeah.
Stephen Hill talks about the fact that he used to memorize Bill Cosby records and
Wow,
how much it
wow,
hurt him when all the stuff came out about Cosby.
wow.
But, like he can recite a lot of the bits, and including, my brother that I spent, that I slept side by side and all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
But, those things have a real impact on people.
Right.
You mentioned iPods. What about music for you, Coy?
I
Oh,
like a
Chuck
lot
Brown.
of the
Chuck Brown. I miss
Of
Chuck Brown.
Chuck Brown.
course.
Oh, the Go Go's. Chuck Brown at DC. Little Benny. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Corey. Go ahead. I had to put that
No, it's
out there.
fine. I
No,
would
we'll come
love
back.
to go back to a lot of the 90s music. I would love to be like maybe around my age now for the 80s music. And I would love to see what it was like to be in like the discos and what have you during the 70s for like the disco era. Like every time I see people on Soul Train around then or some of the clubs back then. I forget one of the famous clubs in New York that
Studio
was,
54.
yeah, which is kind of controversial because, they had tons of drugs floating through there, but everybody looked like they were having a great time.
Why
Oh
you
my
think they was having
gosh.
a great time?
They were zooted. They ain't know
And they
where
were
they
so
was.
hyped up, oh, is that sunshine outside? Okay, let's keep going. Yeah.
Right. But they looked like they were just having a great time and everyone was actually dancing and interacting in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. And then it's just like when it came around to my generation, that kind of fizzled out. And now we just kind of stare at each other from across the room in the section with a hookah.
Right, right.
So I just don't go.
Cocaine was a performance enhancement drug back then.
They
So
were
the
on
question,
it.
ladies and gentlemen, as you hear Coy and Huggy responding, in light of the National Retro Day, what's the one thing from your past you'd like to return?
Dark shadows.
Wow,
Whoa. Say
Rosemary
your
Smith.
age without saying your age,
Right, I
mama.
was thinking about that question too, Huggy.
Yeah.
Rosemary Smith on YouTube says, "I like Flip Wilson and rushing home to seek dark shadows." So,
Wow.
Rosemary, does that mean, and Huggy, do you know if there are Flip Wilson TV shows that you can watch?
Hmm.
Because what happens for me is I have had the opportunity to watch him on the reruns of Johnny Carson,
Flip Wilson
and
was the man.
he really
Flip
was.
Wilson, oh, he was a rock star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Flip Wilson.
really was.
Yeah.
Coy, I don't know if you are familiar with Flip Wilson, although you are a bit of an old soul. You may have heard about him, but at one time it was like Flip Wilson had a TV show, and he, was in the same mannerisms as Milton Berle, with
Mm-hmm.
a man dressed as a woman and that
Mm-hmm.
character and things like
Geraldine.
that.
Right.
Geraldine was his character. Yeah, and
I heard about it. My dad talked about it.
yeah, and she had a boyfriend named Killer, and so, but he was magical, and he was one who left us too soon.
Yeah.
But what a guy, what a guy! So Flip Wilson, I get that absolutely. Everard Burgeon on YouTube says, "How about board games, Snakes and Ladders? Do you guys remember that? I don't remember Snakes and Ladders.
I remember Shoots and Ladders.
Shoots and
Shoots and
ladders.
Ladders. That's it.
He,
Yeah.
maybe he didn't have all the pieces from both parts. He merged games. Sybil.
Maybe it was snakes
Right,
from the from the 4th of July. You
right.
light those
I
things.
remember Don't Break the Ice,
Yep. Yep. Operation was one of
Sit
my
and Spin,
favorites.
Operation.
Yep. And
Yeah.
I can still get down with Yolanda's nieces and nephew over a good game of Monopoly.
Oh, I thought you were about to say Twister.
Oh, oh, don't get me started. Did you see um it was on Nick Cannon's show. He was playing Twister with Linnell.
What?
Oh
No, I
my
didn't see
Oh,
that.
gosh. I gotta go find this.
oh my gosh.
Oh, that was funny.
If anybody saw it, it was hilarious because Linnell's trying to get her Mac on, and Nick is trying to pay his respects to this old G, and it was great. It was so funny as they were kind of
Right.
mingling there. I loved my
Speaking
speaking
spell.
spells, says Denise Cuffy
Oh,
on Facebook.
yeah.
Oh.
Speak
Remember
and spell.
that.
Yes.
Remember that. Yeah. Anybody ever have a light bright?
I
I
remember
want
Light Bright.
one.
Light bright?
I didn't get that. My parents probably
You
thought I was
didn't
gonna
get
lose
that?
all the pieces. No.
Yeah.
So those are
My,
games and things too. Oh, let me
my,
ask you this,
my
Coy. Did
parents
you?
thought it came with a service. Like you had to pay your light bill. Your light bill. I ain't getting no damn Light Bright bill. I ain't paying for that subscription.
Huggy, what's the one thing that not that you had you'd like to bring back, but that you didn't have that you always yearned for?
I always wanted a drum set. I wanted to be
Oh.
a drummer.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be a drummer.
Never got. Did you get close?
Drumsticks. We had a junkyard, but everybody had a go-go band here in the DC area.
Right,
They
right.
play with buckets and trash cans and stuff like that. That was
Why don't you
big.
get one now?
What? I don't know.
Get a drum set.
Uh,
Yeah.
Not too late.
yeah.
And may I just mention his birthday's in June. So I think that would be. I think that would be. I don't
I
think I've
did
ever.
ask my mom for a drum set. I think she didn't understand. So she said, "I thought you said a recorder."
She was like, I don't want no damn drum set in my house.
A recorder.
A little wooden pipe, mom.
Yeah, she said,
Drum set.
We can't
Oh,
afford
those
that.
were fun days too.
I
The
knew she
recorder
couldn't afford it
days.
when she only bought me one drumstick, Sybil. So I said, well, maybe.
I was so excited when I got a recorder in school. That's the time I would like to go back to. Like that was the first instrument that I got to play in school. Like got to play on piano and keyboard and other stuff outside of school, but that was the first time that I got to actually have a music lesson in school, and I was so excited. I practiced all the time. I was like, yes, this is when I
Nice.
knew I was going to play an instrument, and that just kind of paved the way for me to play tenor saxophone
To
and
go
other
on to
instruments.
saxophone.
My sister
I
played
had
the
a great
violin
time in band.
in
Your
school.
sister
Wow.
was a violinist.
Yes,
Wow.
for a brief period of time. So they
Was she good, Hug?
hell no, Sybil. She didn't get a chance to practice. My youngest sister Dana broke the violin. They got into it.
Oh.
Yeah, broke the violin, strings everywhere. That was the end
Oh
of my sister's
God.
career.
Oh, that must have been a hell of a
Heartbreak.
fight.
She could have been a little Negro yo-yo ma. Or something,
And that would have been her title, Little
Right.
Negro Yo-Yo Ma.
Little Negro yo-yo ma Bailey. Ma Rainey. Little Negro yo-yo ma Rainey.
Oh God. With violin, that's tough. Like, and with a lot of instruments, you got to get past that.
So, Coy, I'm thinking even with you, the
What, Coy? You stuck?
the
Coy.
the
Coy.
saxophone. The
Oh, okay.
saxophone may have been bigger than you are.
Right.
It's such a little thing. I can't imagine you.
What instrument you wanted to play, Sybil?
I played guitar for a while.
Oh.
For a period of time. My aunt got me a guitar, and I played through grammar school, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. But
That's dope. What was the name of the group of the young ladies on the cruise? They were like, boom, 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 boom.
oh,
You
Huggy,
remember
that's
that?
a good
What is
question.
that? What
Yeah.
was the name? What was their name, Sybil?
What was the name of that group?
and
They were bad.
oh,
They
the
were
lady was on.
bad.
She was like boom, 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 boom,
Just,
boom.
it
Somebody
was like
light
the
it up.
upward bass
Right.
and
Boom,
and
boom, boom, boom,
the
boom,
stand up
boom,
bass
boom,
and
boom,
things
boom,
like
boom,
that.
boom,
So,
boom, 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 boom.
Coy, was the saxophone bigger than you were at one point?
Play the sax,
Yes.
Troy.
Oh God. Yes, it was. I was so short, and when I started playing in 6th grade, the cases there. I have one now, but I think they were like a little bit taller, and they were like somewhat made out of wood or something with the
Mm,
metal, and so I was like maybe this much taller
yeah,
than a
yeah.
saxophone case, and I would lug this big thing plus all of my books. My book bag, my gym bag. I did this every day. I was dedicated. I said, I'm
You
going to
really were.
She was an
You
yes, and
really,
I had to ride the
overachiever.
bus and
you were.
try
No,
to
You had
she
to
was.
ride
get it on.
the public transportation.
Well, yeah, I did later on, and later in middle school and in high school I did, but earlier in middle school I rode the public school bus, and that was hard
Wow.
because there's no space in between the seats and the
Yeah,
cushion, so I had to sit it in
you are
this
all
big
piled up.
saxophone in
There you
between my
go.
legs and try
All
to
right, let's
drag it
move
down the
to
hall.
what you need to know newsletter as Coy
Did
takes
I
this
tell
trip
you
down memory lane.
my
Hang
father
on,
bought me
Huggy.
a
Hang
harp.
on. Hang on to that. Hang on to that. We'll come back
Okay.
during entertainment. It's time
All
for
right.
us to move to the
We
What You Need to Know
switched.
newsletter. And Coy has a sorry, Coy has a story that I want her to get to about a white man who was awaiting sentence for killing a black man in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
All right, y'all, brace yourselves. This story is like loaded with all kind of craziness. So this 28-year-old white man named Joden Rocco, this is back in 2018, decides to go bar hopping in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And he posts on his social media and says, I'm going to play a game to see how many times I can say the N-word before I get kicked out of a bar. So he does this at a couple different places, gets kicked out of this one bar. He comes across two Middle Eastern men, starts chanting USA, tells them to go back to their country. A manager comes outside from a bar, tries to calm the situation. He punches this guy in the throat, runs off, comes across 24-year-old Dulane Cameron Jr., who's black, with one of his black male friends. They're talking to two women on the street. The guy, Joden Rocco, says, "Oh, you're too beautiful to be, talking to these men."
Did
He
he say amen? Okay.
don't
Okay.
know, I'm just saying. Well, the quote says, "You two look too good to be talking to them." And
Mm-hmm.
then he uses the N-word, starts a fight with these men, grabs one of them by the hair. They fight him off. There was a 911 call around this time too about two black men beating up a white guy. But anyway, he starts a fight with these men several times, fights with them, runs off, comes back, fights with them, runs off. The last time he came back, he pulls out a knife and stabs the 24-year-old black
Mm,
man in the neck
mm.
who died on the scene. He runs away again. He's arrested about an hour later because he goes up to a police officer and asks for a ride home. So, fast forward to February 24th of this year, there was a trial that prosecutors also found that he sent pictures of his boots to a friend that night and said, "These are Carolina N-word stompers." And then also sent another text message that said, "This is not a game we play. This is not a game that we do. We need to be able to beat these N-words up." So he pled guilty to third-degree murder and possessing an instrument of crime. He's expected to spend 20 to 40 years in prison. There was a group called the Southern Poverty Law Center that
That's a big
found,
organization in Alabama. Yeah.
yes, and they found on his social media that he is a fan of several racist, alt-right, and Nazi adjacent accounts. And so activists, they lobbied for hate crime charges to be filed, but they were never filed in this case.
So the sentencing has yet to come down. And what role is his family playing in this, Coy? Is the victim's family?
Yeah, so the family is going to basically be at the sentencing coming up in June of this year, and they're going to ask the court to give the maximum penalty of 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
This is why he hasn't been given the amount of years yet, because they will be instrumental in this his criminal charges coming up.
So when I hear that, and I hear that the judge will make the decision, I can't help but go back to just a couple of weeks ago, when the white policewoman from Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, who had already been found guilty in the murder of Dante Wright, and the judge, uh, do I call her a bleeding liberal? I don't think so. But with tears and emotion in her voice, gave this woman little more than a slap on the hand in terms of the sentencing. And I'm just wondering to what, and this is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So I'm wondering to what extent the judges, do you guys know or think the judges are attached to the sentencing guidelines? Because obviously in some cases, it was as if the judge in Minnesota said, hasn't this woman paid enough? And you don't think about the life that this kid lost and what his family has lost, what his son has lost.
Right. That was terrible.
So I hope you will keep an eye on that. I know I ask you all the time, please keep an eye on this story, or keep us apprised of it. But I hope that you'll be able to, and that we can give people a follow up on this.
Yes, definitely. And I don't know if I mentioned, but in court he pled guilty and said, I am in fact guilty. So
and is he going to be able to take his inward stomping Carolina inward stompers to jail with him, I wonder.
Right.
Huggy, what do you think?
This is awful.
It is. It really is.
I'm just so sick of. There's just so many stories over and over. It's like we're on a loop.
Yeah.
And it's getting worse.
It really is. And as our social justice person, I really worry about Coy's state of mind, and as she covers these stories day after day, and try to send her some uplifting ones, for her to look at, because I don't know how much we as a people can take day after day, week after week, year after year. And especially when you think that these cases are coming down, the sentences are being levied. And we just had the 10th anniversary of the murder of Trayvon Martin, and how his family is still working. And then that crazy George Zimmerman is filing a $100 million defamation lawsuit, and thank God for a right-thinking judge there and say, get out of here with that.
Right.
You got
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Kyle Rittenhouse is going to sue all these people because they said
nerve,
these things about
the nerve of these. The nerve of these.
I love when Huggy goes cowardly lion.
You need to send Coy a marijuana plant. That's what you need. All that you holding, you need to be able to reach back over there and say,
if it was only legalized in Georgia, I think they're going to be the last of the last on that train. No, I mean, it is for medicinal use, but
get your medicinal card and go in the treehouse.
You can have a medicinal card, and it's still not legal here. Like they just did that for rhetoric, to be honest, because there's nowhere where you can get marijuana or cannabis legally for a medical purpose in Georgia. Not that I know of. I haven't seen it yet.
Well, let that be a part of your hard work.
I know. We
no, where the weed?
We know what a damn weed is. So
I have a theory, and I've said it, and I'm
get the people the people to the polls. Come on, man.
Weed to the smoke.
Weed ain't nothing.
That's nothing compared.
I just
to
have a theory, and maybe it's like bad to think this way, but I said I don't think Georgia is going to legalize weed until they figure out how to make black people pick it.
Pick the weed, but you know what? They would get a lot of takers on that one. Black and white, shoot. They get back out in the fields.
I don't know why my load is light today.
I know, but your pockets are bulging there. Okay. This is the last day of Black History Month, obviously, as we've said, and we do salute.
She said that on the last day of Black History Month, Sybil.
That's how some people think down here. I think.
But I can say this.
She representing everybody down the line. That's how some people think down here.
They do.
I'm from the SWATs.
Well, let me tell you how people think across the country about an important event that has recently happened. That's the nomination of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson
I
to.
thought you were going to say Mary J. Blige. Go
Oh,
ahead.
that's funny.
She everywhere. She
The
is everywhere.
nomination of Ketanji Brown Jackson, the judge who has been nominated to the United States Supreme Court. I don't know if you guys watched it. I don't know how people felt because we have not had an opportunity to talk about it. But
Right.
your thoughts on this particular event, or if you did see it.
No, I didn't see it, but it's long overdue. So I will
I've
plan
been
on.
reading about
I
it.
do plan on going back and watching it.
And I will tell you what struck me, and I did post this picture. It was Biden standing in the center as he's making his nomination, and flanked by two of the most powerful women in the universe. The Vice
Wow.
President Kamala Harris
Wow.
and the nominee to the United States Supreme Court Ketanji Brown Jackson. It was
Wow.
powerful, and I was just it was really an emotional
It was a
moment
moment.
watching.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely was. 51 years old, so that means she when she is confirmed, and she will be, barring any shenanigans by some Democrats, she will have a long lasting role on the United States Supreme Court. Whether her decisions are in the majority or the minority, her consenting opinions as well as the majority
So it's our
opinions.
first black scout on the Supreme Court,
A sister.
a sister, and the first black.
No, the first black was actually Thurgood
No,
Marshall.
I know Thurgood Marshall. I'm talking about
Okay.
now. I'm talking about now.
Oh, the yeah, she will be the black representative
The
on the
only, the
Supreme
only
Court.
black.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
And she
And
got a black name too. Don't you love it?
man,
Ketanji, yes. Oh, you know what it
Ketanji
is. As soon
one,
as you step in there,
Brown
you
is
know what
Brown
it is.
and Jackson is
Jackson.
three.
And Jackson is her white husband's name.
What?
Yes.
Man, come on, man.
I kid you not.
Wow, that's dope. How
And her
dope is that?
brother's name is Katan, I think. Katanj? Katan. But it's the two kids that her parents
Wow,
named them. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, and her brother was a detective on the Baltimore Police Department,
Okay,
and yeah,
okay.
and also served 2 tours of duty in the Army. So it's a really cool story. She has a great story, and she referenced another big historical figure, and one of my favorites is Constance Baker Motley, who was the first Black female judge to rise in the federal court system,
Right.
and just an amazing moment. It was really cool. I'm
That's
I'm
dope,
I'm
man.
still
That is so
geeked.
dope. Yeah, that
Still
is
geeked.
awesome.
Yeah, it is.
That is,
We talked about Ukraine, and we'll keep you up to date on that. The CDC has dropped the indoor mask mandate for most of the country. Are you still wearing your masks, kids?
hell yeah.
Me too.
Like
Yeah,
I
we have
said,
to wear
Silver,
it at my
these,
job.
these people are getting recomfortable. Not me.
Yeah.
I know it ain't a word, Silver, but it's a word in my
I like
vocabulary.
it. I like it. We're gonna put it in the
Yeah,
vocabulary.
they getting recomfortable, Silver.
They
Not
are.
me. They ain't gonna
Yeah.
mad shame me. I'm wearing my, and they lifting the restrictions in a couple of days here as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. As a matter of fact, I believe at the State of the Address, would not require them to wear them, but they did have to have a COVID-19 test. And
Right.
so it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out across the country. But I'm still wearing mine.
Yeah. Yeah. People
And I
still
was
don't
in
know how
a
to cover their mouths when they cough.
and
It's,
and then there's that, Coy.
it's too soon, Silver. It's too
People who
soon.
still don't have an idea, they've gotten loose about washing their hands and all of this
Social
stuff.
distancing, they just, everybody's just willy nilly, like you said. You know?
Yeah, it really is. It's a sad state of affairs, but
Mhm.
I'm not gonna go out that way, and I'm not going. I was at an event, a high school event Saturday night, and it was really interesting. A lot of the kids, I mean, 90% of the audience of the kids had no mask on. Some adults did, and it was and
Texas. Wow.
man, I was
Wow.
like, you guys, you just want to go up to them and say, please put your mask on. You can't do that, but
I wear mine. I wear mine on stage. I was like, look, y'all.
Okay, so
somebody gotta go to the funeral.
any pushback on that, Hug?
No, I mean they look. You see some people in the audience still will wear they mask the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
So and some people they just like
Whatever.
avocado toast, just open face, like a half a sandwich. The heart change.
That's funny. Let's talk about entertainment and Huggy. I cut you off a story about your dad, which I figured was going to be entertaining.
No, I was just talking about the instrument I
Yeah.
did get from my dad. It was a secondhand instrument, so I didn't, but
What
I
what
never. It was
what
a
was
harp.
it?
So is that funny? So y'all laughing like
Oh, come on, Coy, don't leave me out here.
it was
That's
a harp?
funny. Your daddy gives you a secondhand harp, and he call you Gabriel.
No, I mean
Yeah.
I probably would have been good if it had strings on it.
Oh my gosh.
Is it still a harp? Sybil, if it didn't have strings?
It's a hoop.
I'm a stringless harp.
Can't tell you how many times. Oh, wow. That is so funny. Thank you for sharing that. A
You're
stringless
welcome.
harp. I
Yes,
don't,
That sounds like a metaphor.
I know for a life. Yes,
yes, a
absolutely.
stringless harp.
Let's talk about congratulations are in order for Jennifer Hudson and Will Smith.
Oh,
They
I
were
thought you were
big
about to say
winners.
Kiki Wyatt.
Oh, that's funny. That's
Go ahead.
funny.
I'm sorry, Sybil. Go ahead.
Baby number 11.
Right.
Uh, uh, Jennifer Hudson and Will Smith won big at the recent NAACP Image Awards, and she received 2 awards. Jennifer Hudson did. She won for Entertainer of the Year and Outstanding Actress in a Motion Picture for playing Aretha Franklin in Respect. So congratulations to her. Big
And
Will.
I'm happy that she got away from Macy Gray. Did you see the video of
Oh my
Macy Gray?
god. Oh my god. Hug. How crazy is that?
Hilarious. Go ahead, Sybil. I'm
Poor
sorry.
Macy. And good on Will Smith. He won both at the NAACP Image Awards and at the Screen Actor Guild Award
Wow,
for
sad.
his portrayal of Mr. Richard
I
Williams.
haven't seen it yet. Have you seen it?
Huggy.
Was
One of
he
my
was he Will or was he Richard?
No, he was Richard Williams. If nothing else about him, and Coy, have you seen it?
Uh,
Have you seen King Richard?
yes,
So
yes. We went to go
so
see it at the movies. Loved it.
it's my favorite movie of the year.
Wow, I'm gonna check it out then, Sybil.
Absolute favorite. And he was so emotional in thanking Venus and Serena in the Screen Actor Guild Awards, and giving props to Anjanou Ellis who plays Miss Zora Scene,
Mhm.
their mother, and the little girls that played Venus and Serena. Everybody was so good
They
in this,
Wow,
were.
wow.
really good, really. So
I'm gonna
uh,
check it out now, Sybil.
please do. Please do. I highly recommend it. If you have not seen it, you can obviously, I want to say it was HBO Max, but if you look it up,
Yeah, I
you
think
can
so.
get it. Yeah. And we
Is
got
it
to,
good though, Sybil?
it's great.
Okay, I'm gonna listen to you because you know how Tom will recommend a movie to you and you see it. You gotta watch it because it's
And,
Tom. He's
and,
like,
and, and you're like, really?
It's a
And
think
then,
piece.
right.
like,
No, it
oh,
wasn't a
bruh.
think piece. It was like,
No.
oh, yeah, it was, Coy, because you're like, what was he thinking?
Yeah, bruh, bruh,
Right, right.
bruh.
Right. So I highly recommend King Richard if you haven't seen it. And go and also make sure your kids watch it too. It's
Right.
really good. It's
Okay,
really
I'm gonna
really
check
good.
it
So
It's a
out.
really good
I can't
movie.
recommend it highly enough, as if I already did. All right, so Will Smith, and he gave a shout out to his mentor. He beat out Denzel Washington in the Screen Actor Guild Awards
Wow.
for lead actor, and Denzel told him, "This is your time,
Right.
and this is your year. So just enjoy it. Absolutely
Wow.
enjoy it." So
Wow.
it was a good time. It was good. It made me happy. It was worth the wait. All the hours to get to that, but good times, good times. And before we go, I do want to leave you all with, you know what time it is, Hug?
Yogi's Jew.
Nice, nice.
Yogi's Jew. Young Jews.
And that was done without a harp. All right. So today's daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels: be the ambassador of peace to all you meet. Be the ambassador of peace to all you meet.
Okay.
Peace, y'all. Thank you so much. So glad to have you back, Hug. Coy, go out there and kill it another week in your adulting process.
Yes.
Appreciate you.
Good luck in your endeavors when you're adulting.
Peace
Peace be with you, sister.
One more thing. I forgot to ask everybody to please go and vote for my playlist for Reclaim Your Rhythm. This is my, you go to @American_Heart on Instagram, click on the profile picture in the top left corner, and you'll see a couple of different cards there. And one will have Tremaine Lee and me. And you, if you hit my name, and then you can vote for me, unless you don't like it. But I hope that you will. And please do that before 10 a.m. Tuesday morning. That's my playlist, Hug.
That's your whole playlist?
No, the one on the right. Bill Withers' Lovely Day.
Oh, because I was looking at the one on the left, like, oh, no, please.
So please go and take a look at that and vote. And that is you got a short window there, a very small window. Thanks everybody. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye, Coy. Bye, Hug.